Welcome back to Antigua Barbuda today. Thank you so much for staying with us this morning. And I am happy that it's Monday. And everyone's cracking up at me. I am happy that it's Monday. In fact, got some really good news just now, so even happier. So let's just say we're on our way to Fantastic Friday. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. We're on our way to Fantastic Friday, and it's not Drew's Day. Okay, let me get serious. 29 minutes before 7 o'clock. I am pleased to be in the company this morning of Raquel Moses. Good morning, Raquel. How are you?
Morning, I'm great.
Thank you so much for taking the time out early this morning to chat with us as well. For those of you looking on, Raquel Moses is what I would call a very powerful woman, a woman of substance, a woman who knows what she's about. She's led the helm, she's been at the helm in terms of Trinidad and Tobago InvestTT, Microsoft as well, ACCA, and the list goes on and on. But this morning she's here to chat with us as she is now the CEO of the Caribbean Climate Smart Accelerator. Raquel, thanks again. Just trying to figure out, just to put into context, for the last year and a half, especially since those turbulent times in terms of Hurricanes Maria. We've been hearing about resilience, climate resilience. We've been hearing about climate change. A lot of us listening, but not actually hearing. Does your portfolio at this time with this organization have anything to do with ensuring that we are ready and we're prepared and we acknowledge the negative impact or the fallout of climate change?
Absolutely, but I think we're taking a little bit of a different approach in that we are looking at it from the one, certainly in protecting ourselves and being more resilient and making sure our infrastructure is as robust as it can be. But we're also looking at the opportunity in leading the global conversation on climate change, in creating climate change jobs in our society so that we have the ability to export those jobs to the developed world, to the US, export our intellectual property, and use this crisis as a business opportunity as well.
Raquel, break it down a little bit more for me in terms of those who may not know or do not understand. Who and what is the Caribbean Climate Smart Accelerator?
All right, so after the 2017 storms, a few of the region's prime ministers got together with Richard Branson and they decided to start this Caribbean Climate Smart Accelerator. The accelerator is meant to, one, prepare the region and have the region designated as the first climate smart zone. And what that means is that we set targets for how we treat, are you hearing an echo?
That's okay, no, we're hearing you loud and clear. You go ahead.
So it deals with how we address climate change. So what are our carbon emissions? How many electric vehicles do we use? How much of our energy is renewable energy? How do we rebuild our buildings? What kind of infrastructure do we use to ensure that we protect ourselves as much as possible? But above and beyond that, how do we address this issue of climate change from a position of power? So we certainly want to protect ourselves and we certainly want to ensure that the next storm that comes, that we are more prepared and that we rebuild from the last storm with that in mind. But we also want to be able to create jobs in this sector, to be able to build upon this challenge and to build our strength to be able to tell the rest of the world first, we are disproportionately impacted by climate change, but we have a solution and we are implementing our solutions and we can show you how to do it as well. And we have all of these incredibly trained resources that are able to help you get climate smart also.
Okay, so on the topic of being climate smart and the mere fact that you said that you are spreading this message and making sure that from a position of power, we can get the message downwards. And when I say downwards, I don't mean it in a negative way, but in fact for all the masses. And you talk about the creation of jobs as well. But how much, from where you sit in your standpoint, are we engaged as a Caribbean community in the effects of climate change? Do you still think that we need to drive this message home? Do we need to really push the envelope? Is it enough that we've seen 2 or 3 or 4 storms, one after the other in a single year? Are our eyes opened as yet? Do you think so, Raquel?
You know, we have some really exciting pockets of awareness where there are people who are engaged, there are people who are planting trees, there are people who are, you know, ensuring their properties properly. And so we do have pockets of engagement. What we need is for those pockets to spread and take up the entire space. So we need to make sure that people understand that, you know, recycling is important. It's important to us. You know, one of the things that is a challenge for us in the region is that no matter what we do, if we do absolutely everything, we reduce our carbon emissions to zero, climate change will still happen because we're not the ones who are the major contributors. So we need to do what we can to protect ourselves. We also need to inform ourselves and then inform others. And we can't inform others if we're not aware.
That's an excellent answer. Thank you, Raquel. As I wrap up, in terms of climate resilience, social development, social resilience, economic growth, are we able to easily just see the links between all of them? And what do you think we need to do as individuals? Where do we start? Because we have to start from the bottom up. I know you're coming from the power sector, just more or less enabling, I guess, each and every one of us through the respective bodies. But where do we start? Where do I start? What do I do? Because there will always be climate change, yes.
You start by getting educated and doing what you can in your corner. I think that a lot of times people think of this, you know, huge thing of climate change and they feel powerless. And I think everyone has an opportunity to do something. The first thing is to not litter, because all of that ends up in a landfill, and the landfill
Thank you.
Methane. So we don't want that. So I mean, basic things, and then you get more into recycling, you get more into reusing rather than buying new things, and then you start building your capacity. You can contact us at hello@caribbeanaccelerator.org. We have a wealth of information where we're still sort of putting new things on the website, but can at least point you to information where you are that you can access to be able to get more climate smart, and to start with baby steps and to build this into a huge movement for the region.
Raquel, thank you. You know what I like? You just made it so simple. We can start by not littering the environment. That is so simple. It is so simple. And I think once we can get a hold on that, because it's no different, I guess, in Trinidad and Tobago or in Barbados or in St. Lucia or here in Antigua, Barbuda. I guess there may be some stricter rules, but I think as a region, as a body, if we can all just kind of start there, then we should be off to a great start, right?
Yeah, well, we're all in this together, you know, and,
yes.
And I mean, as much as we see each other, we see ourselves as separate, we're all in this together, and we're gonna have to pull and work together to be able to get out.
Raquel Moses, thank you so much for sharing your space with us this morning, and we look forward to hearing more from you and also from the Caribbean Climate Smart Accelerator. Have a blessed morning, a positive and productive day. We will chat with you soon.
Thanks so much.
All right, that's Raquel Moses there this morning. She is the CEO of the Caribbean Climate Smart Accelerator, making a very valid point. We all need to be a little bit more climate change savvy. As she mentioned, we cannot control the effects of climate change, but we certainly can put our first or one foot forward in order to at least help how we protect ourselves from the effects of climate change. And we've been going back and forth with this, the amendment of the Litter Act, for the last couple of months. And something as simple as that, not littering, makes such a major difference. All right, it's 20 minutes before 7 o'clock. When we come back, we're going to share a little excerpt of that interview with Port Manager Darwin Telemark last week, just to sort of give you an update. We've still got the birthdays ahead of you, and we've also got an update as to what's taking place globally. So stay with us. This is Antigua Barbuda Today.